Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 7 o'clock main news. In tonight's headlines, His Highness the Emir receives GCC officials participating in the 23rd meeting of the GCC Ministers of Education. His Highness the Crown Prince chairs the first meeting of the National Security Council. The Iraqi Parliament Speaker arrives in Kuwait upon an invitation by the National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Al-Ghanem. And Turkey clears way for Iraqi Kurdish troops to battle Islamic State militants in Kobani as fighting intensifies. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah received this morning at Bayan Palace the Deputy Premier, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Acting Minister of Education and Acting Minister of Higher Education Dr. Abdul Muhsin Mid'ij Al Mid'ij, the GCC Secretary General Dr. Abdul Latif Al Zayani, ministers and heads of the delegations participating in the 23rd GCC Education Ministers Conference currently being held in Kuwait. His Highness the Emir welcomed the GCC ministers and praised their efforts in developing the education process, calling on them to look into measures to further improve education in the region. For his part, His Royal Highness the Saudi Minister of Education Prince Khalid Al Faisal bin Abdul Aziz stressed the importance of following guidelines set by GCC leaders that aim at consolidating bilateral relations and achieve education progress in the future. The meeting was attended by the Deputy Minister of Emir Diwan Affairs Sheikh Ali Jarrah Al Sabah.
شكرا طال عمرك باسمي وباسم اخواني زملائي طال عمرك على الحفاوه والاستقبال اللي وجدناها طال عمرك ولا هو غريبا عليكم. انتم اهل الحفاوه واهل الكرم واهل استقبال ضيوفكم وتكريمهم، ان شاء الله يطول عمرك. في بلدنا وعند ابونا الله يسلمك.
انا بقول لك يعني بنرحب فيكم وانتم في بلدكم. الله يحفظك. انا بقول اهلا وسهلا وإن شاء الله دائما اجتماعات وشوف بعضنا
إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. وبشر كل أمورنا طيبة.
الحمد لله الحمد لله.
احنا تونا كنا نسولف في المجلس نية ونقول إن الحمد لله يعني حالتنا احنا في الخليج أحسن من غيرنا. شوف النقلة اللي وصلنا لها طال خلال 50 سنة الماضية، وهم وين هم فيه؟ هم اللي في محله واللي عون يعني عود نزل شوي. وحنا الحمد لله كلها في تقدم وفي رقي، وهذا من فضل الله ثم جهودكم طال عمرك وقادتنا اللي ما قصروا علينا.
الله يخليك بس على عبد اللطيف مسؤولية كبيرة
رفاقكم وخدمتكم يا طويل العمر وأوامركم يا طويل. أيوة الله يوفقكم إن شاء الله. الله يوفقكم لأن اتفاقكم طال عمرك هو أهم شيء وهو مصير هذه الأمة على يديكم إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
أقول لأصحاب السمو المعالي أن دائما يا طويل العمر من تجتمعون أول سؤال تسألوني إياه إيش في من القرارات شيء يخدم ويفيد المواطن. دائما حرصهم الله يسلمهم على خدمة المواطن وتقديم ما يدعم رفاهية المواطن. بشركم طويل العمر ترى التلاحم والتضامن فيما بين الشعوب موجود يا طويل العمر.
إن شاء الله وعلينا كلنا مسؤولية يعني. اليمن عزيز علينا
واحنا نقدر حقيقة جهودكم بشكل كبير، وحقيقة كان هناك دول الخليج والملك عبد الله حقيقة في مقدمة من ساعدوا، وإن شاء الله نمضي الآن إلى خير.
إن شاء الله.
لأن السياسة تتفاوض على أساس يمضي إن شاء الله إلى تنفيذ اتفاقية السلم والشراكة الموجودة الآن، وإن شاء الله يكون بداية خير يعني، لكن بجهودكم ودعمكم لا شك يعني.
His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah will patronize and attend the awarding ceremony of the Kuwait Foundation for the Advancement of Sciences for the year 2013. This ceremony will be held tomorrow, the 22nd of October 2014 at 10:30 a.m. in Bayan Palace. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah paid a visit this afternoon to Mr. Faisal Bandar Watban Al Dwesh at Farwani Hospital, where His Highness the Emir wished Al Dwesh a speedy recovery.
بس الحين أموره طيبة، الحين مستقرة، وأي مستجدات راح نبلغ إن شاء الله السيد الوكيل والوزارة إذا استجد شيء، لكن الحين حالته مستقرة الحمد لله وأموره طيبة. نعم طال عمرك، كان في قطعة بسيطة بس من هذا وأموره طيبة الحمد لله. جبنا الجراحين استشاريين وكلهم سووا العملية وأموره طيبة.
اول 24 ساعه فتره استقرار ما بعد العمليه، لكن الحمد لله مؤشراتها حسب راي الاطباء واطباء التخدير مؤشراتها الحمد لله مطمئنه وهي ريكفرنج يعني، فان شاء الله يمكن على بكره راح تظهر يعني على يومين ان شاء الله تكون الامور ان شاء الله افضل ويعطى القرار ان شاء الله. شور ان شاء الله طال عمرك تمام.
ما نجيك بسوء ولا الجميع ولا الرجال اللي مسبحين قدامك، والله يطول عمرك ويسلمك للكويت كلها، وهذا فضل من الله. شوفتك اليوم فيها هذا المجال هذا كله، وبرعاية الله وبرعايتكم ان شاء الله. الله يطول عمرك. انتم اهل الوفر وانتم مقرة طال عمرك، والله يسلم غالي ان شاء الله.
His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah received this morning at Bayan Palace His Highness Sheikh Nasser Al-Mohammed Ahmed Al-Sabah. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah received today a cable of congratulations from His Majesty the King of Swaziland, Mr. Wati III, on the occasion of the United Nations honouring His Highness the Emir as a humanitarian leader and the State of Kuwait as a humanitarian centre. In his cable, the King of Swaziland commended the great philanthropic efforts exerted by His Highness the Emir locally and internationally to sustain humanitarian values. His Highness the Emir sent a reply cable expressing gratitude to the King of Swaziland for his warm sentiments that reflect great bilateral ties. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah chaired the first meeting of the National Security Council with its new lineup to discuss the regional and international developments and its impact on Kuwait's security and stability. The meeting was held at Bayan Palace this morning in the presence of the Deputy Chief of the National Guard, Sheikh Mish'al Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, and His Highness Sheikh Jaber Al-Mbarak Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Prime Minister. At the advent of the meeting, His Highness the Crown Prince underscored that the region is undergoing a critical stage that requires vigorous and organised action, national unity and strengthening the domestic front to overcome the dangers threatening the state's security and safety. His Highness the Crown Prince then conveyed to the National Security Council instructions from His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, to take all required measures to counter the threats facing the state's security, safety and stability. His Highness the Crown Prince affirmed the necessity of understanding the seriousness of this critical stage, its developments and repercussions, to be able to address it with required steps and measures to protect the state from its evils, destructive fallouts and grave consequences. His Highness also underscored that the concept of national security can't be separated from the rule of law and the firm enforcement of it on everyone without any exception.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
His Highness the Crown Prince urged the National Security Council to take necessary measures to ensure the state's security and express confidence in the Council members' eagerness and ability to undertake this great responsibility and succeed in their mission. The meeting was attended by the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Sabah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Deputy Premier, Interior Minister and Acting Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs Sheikh Mohammed Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Defence Sheikh Khalid Al-Jarrah Al-Sabah, the Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs Sheikh Salman Sabah Hissam Al-Mahmoud Al-Sabah, the Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs and Acting Minister of Justice Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah Mbarak Al-Sabah, the Minister of Finance Anas Khalid Al-Saleh, the Minister of Communications and Minister of State for Municipal Affairs Isa Ahmed Al-Kandiri, the Head of His Highness the Crown Prince's Diwan Sheikh Mbarak Al-Faisal Saud Al-Sabah, and the Chief of the National Security Apparatus Sheikh Thamir Ali Sabah Al-Salim Al-Sabah.
كأعلى سلطة أمنية في البلاد، ولأنقل لكم دعم حضرة صاحب السمو الشيخ صباح الأحمد الجابر الصباح أمير البلاد حفظه الله ورعاه، وتوجيهاته السامية بالتصدي لأي مخاطر قد تهدد سلامة البلاد وأمنها واستقرارها. إن ثقة سموه حفظه الله ورعاه بكم كبيرة، وهي تستوجب منا جميعا أن ندرك خطورة هذه المرحلة الدقيقة، وأن نحسن قراءة مستجداتها وتداعياتها لنتمكن من التعامل معها
بما يستحق من خطوات وتدابير تكفل الوقاية من شرورها وآثارها المدمرة وتجنب أضرارها حاضرا ومستقبلا. إن المتغيرات الإقليمية المتسارعة التي تشهدها المنطقة وتداعياتها الخطيرة تجعلنا ندرك خطورة هذه المرحلة الدقيقة وأخذ الحيطة والإغاثة من نتائجها وآثارها، وإن المتابع لمجريات الأحداث يرى بوضوح ما تتعرض له تلك الدول والشعوب من ويلات الحروب والنزاعات وما يحدث بها من قتل وتشريد ودمار. نسأل الله لهم الخلاص والفرج والأمان. وإذا كنا نشعر بالألم العميق تجاه هذا الواقع المأساوي الذي يتعرض له أشقاء لنا في تلك الدول، فإننا نستشعر حجم الخاطر والتحديات التي تهدد أمن واستقرار بلادنا. وإذا كان جدير بنا أن نشيد بالدور البارز والجهود المخلصة التي يقوم بها جيشنا الباسل ورجال الشرطة والحرس الوطني في الحفاظ على سيادة الوطن وأمنه، فإن الأمر يتطلب مضاعفة الجهود وحسن تنظيمه، كما يتطلب قيام جميع الأجهزة الرسمية والشعبية مؤسسات وأفراد بمسؤوليتها الوطنية في تجسيد الوعي الإيجابي وبث روح المسؤولية في تعزيز التلاحم والتآزر. إخواني أعضاء المحترمين، إن جملة المشاهدات التي نتابع فصولها في المنطقة تشكل واقعاً مأساوي ينبئ بالمزيد من الأحداث والمخاطر والتهديدات، الأمر الذي لا مجال معه لأي تساهل أو تهاون، بما يقتضي منا اتخاذ كل السبل والتدابير للحفاظ على سلامة الوطن وأمنه والوقاية من المخاطر والتهديدات المحتملة، بل يستوجب عملاً جاداً منظماً وتجسيداً كاملاً لوحدتنا الوطنية وتعزيز لجبهتنا الداخلية في مواجهة مخاطر حقيقية تهدد أمن الوطن وسلامته. لا شك بأن مجلس الأمن الوطني بحكم اختصاصه معني بضمان أمن الكويت وسلامته وتوفير الأمن والأمان والاستقرار والعيش الكريم للمواطن الكويتي والمقيمين على أرضها التي نحرص على تأمينها في بلدنا العزيز في الحاضر والمستقبل. إلى جانب ذلك يجب أن لا نغفل خطورة ما ظهر أخيراً من الانحرافات السلوكية المستجدة والمفاهيم الخاطئة المستوردة التي تتعارض مع حقيقة مبادئ ديننا الحنيف وقيمنا الكويتية الأصيلة، والتي كان لها الفضل بعد الله في الحفاظ على بقاء راية الوطن عالية عبر أجياله المتعاقبة. الأمر الذي يلقي المزيد من الأعباء على مؤسساتنا الدينية والتربوية والإعلامية وغيرها في معالجة هذه الانحرافات الخطيرة والوقاية منها بتحصين أبنائنا من شرورها، كما أن مفهوم الأمن الوطني لا يمكن فصله عن سيادة القانون والحزم في تطبيقه على الجميع بلا استثناء. أيها الأخوة، إن أمامكم الكثير من المهام والمسؤوليات، وعليكم بذل قصارى الجهد لإنجازها على النحو المأمول الذي يكفل تحقيق الأمن الوطني الذي ننشده جميعا لكويتنا الغالية ولأهلها الأوفياء. وأنني على ثقة تامة بحرصكم الصادق وبقدرتكم على تحمل مسؤولياتكم تجاه وطنكم، داعين المولى عز وجل لكم كل النجاح والتوفيق في ظل القيادة الحكيمة لحضرة صاحب السمو الأمير حفظه الله ورعاه، ونسأله تعالى أن يمد بمظهور الصحة والعمر المديد. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Subah paid a visit this morning to Mr. Faisal Bandar Al Watban at Duwaish at Farwaniya Hospital, where His Highness the Crown Prince wished the Duwaish a speedy recovery. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Subah received this morning at Bayan Palace His Highness Sheikh Nasser Al Mohammed Al Ahmed Al Subah. Speaker of the Iraqi Parliament Dr. Salim Abdullah Al-Jabouri and his accompanying delegation arrived in Kuwait at noon today on an official visit by the National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Ali Al-Ghanem. Speaker Al-Jabouri was received at the airport by Speaker Al-Ghanem, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly Mubarak ibn Al-Khrainij, Kuwait's Ambassador to Iraq Ghassan Al-Zawawi, Iraq's Ambassador to Kuwait Mohammed Bahr Al-Ulum, and the Assistant Secretary General for MPs Affairs, Public Relations and Media Sami Abdulaziz Al-Shaya. The Speaker of the Iraqi Parliament is scheduled to meet with His Highness the Emir Sheikh Subah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Subah and His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Subah tomorrow Wednesday. He will also hold talks with Speaker Al-Ghanem on the latest regional developments and issues of common concern, as well as means of boosting mutual parliamentary cooperation. Al-Jabouri will also meet with His Highness Sheikh Jaber Al Mubarak Al Hamad Al Subah, the Prime Minister, and a number of state officials. The National Assembly Bureau held a meeting today under the chairmanship of Speaker Marzouk Ali Al-Ghanem and in the presence of Bureau members. The Parliament Speaker Yaqub Abdul Muhsin Al-Sani said in a press statement that the Bureau reviewed the preparations of the National Assembly General Secretariat for the 13th session of the 14th legislative term, which will be inaugurated by His Highness the Emir Sheikh Subah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Subah on Tuesday the 28th of October 2014. Al-Sani added that the Bureau took note of a number of messages addressed by heads of the parliamentary committees and a host of speakers of brotherly and friendly parliaments, in addition to some administrative issues related to the General Secretariat. His Highness Sheikh Jaber Al Mubarak Al Hamad Al Subah, the Prime Minister, received at Bayan Palace today the Ambassador of China to Kuwait, Tsui Jianchun, along with the Deputy Chairman of Huawei Company, Guo Ping. The meeting was attended by the Assistant Under Secretary for Local Affairs at His Highness the Premier's Diwan, Sheikh Khalid Mohammed Khalid Al Subah. His Highness Sheikh Jaber Al Mubarak Al Hamad Al Subah, the Prime Minister, received today at Bayan Palace the GCC Secretary General Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, ministers and heads of the delegations participating in the 23rd GCC Education Ministers Conference currently being held in Kuwait. The meeting was attended by the Deputy Premier, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Acting Minister of Education and Acting Minister of Higher Education Dr. Abdul Muhsin Mid'ij Al-Mid'ij, as well as the Assistant Under Secretary for Local Affairs at His Highness the Premier's Diwan, Sheikh Khalid Mohammed Khalid Al Subah. The Deputy Premier, Interior Minister and Acting Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs, Sheikh Mohammed Khalid Al Hamad Al Subah, met today with the family of martyr Colonel Dr. Subah Abdul Rahman Al Ghais, member of the teaching staff of Saad Al Abdullah Academy for Security Sciences, who passed away in Jordan. Sheikh Mohammed Khalid expressed deep condolences to the martyr's family and prayed to Almighty Allah to bestow mercy on his soul. For their part, the family members voiced gratitude to Sheikh Mohammed Al Khalid for his sentiments and presented him with a number of books written by the late Colonel Ghais. The Deputy Premier and Minister of Defence Sheikh Khalid Jarrah Al Subah today promoted Dr. Abdulaziz Imad to First Lieutenant and Abdulaziz Al Hajri to Marine Lieutenant at the Emirates International Maritime Academy upon an Emiri decree that stipulates their appointment in the Kuwaiti military. Sheikh Khalid Al-Jarrah then congratulated the officers on the trust bestowed upon them by His Highness the Emir and Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Sheikh Subah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Subah, urging them to live up to this privilege and contribute to achieving further security and stability in the country. The Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs, Sheikh Salman Subah Al Mahmoud Al Subah, today welcomed the visit of the Iranian Minister of Culture and Islamic Guidance, Ali Ahmed Jannati, and his accompanying delegation. During his meeting with the Iranian Minister, Sheikh Salman Al Subah said this visit is an opportunity to discuss mutual cooperation between both countries in the cultural and media domains. For his part, Jannati expressed pleasure over his visit that came at the invitation of Sheikh Salman Al Subah to communicate and exchange points of view on issues of common concern. Turkey will allow Iraqi Kurdish forces known as Peshmerga to cross its border with Syria to help fight militants from the Islamic State who have besieged the Syrian town of Kobani. The decision represents an important shift by the Turkish government, which has angered Kurdish leaders and frustrated Washington for weeks by refusing to allow fighters or weapons to cross its border in support of the Kurdish fighters defending the town. Nadia Ali has more details in this report.
Turkey has shifted its attitude to increase its involvement in the fight against the IS. The Turkish Foreign Ministry said Turkey has allowed the Iraqi Kurdish regional government's Peshmerga forces to cross the border and enter into the Kurdish-populated Syrian town of Kobani in order to fight the IS militants. But only one day before, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan rejected the U.S. notion of transferring arms to the Kurdish Democratic Union Party in Syria, saying the organization is a terrorist group. Erdogan also criticized Western countries for not supporting other groups in Syria, which also have been fighting against the IS militants. The Turkish government has made more efforts in fighting against the IS since last week, from opening an Air Force base to promising to train 4,000 fighters for the Syrian opposition. Last Friday, extremist forces tried to assassinate a leader of the Syrian opposition forces in Turkey. Turkey has been under great pressure from the international community since last month. UN Undersecretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator Valerie Amos, who is visiting Turkey, called for international unity to fight against terrorist organizations.
The key thing is that people are kept safe. The worst thing would be to bring people to an area and then, because they're not protected, they are attacked and as a result lose their lives.
The Turkish government has repeatedly demanded the United States and the partners to set up a no-fly zone at the Turkish-Syrian border, but the demand has not been heeded so far. Meanwhile, Kurds welcomed the Turkish government's decision to allow Iraqi Kurdish fighters to transit Turkey to reinforce the defenders of the Syrian border town of Kobani. There was a sense among Turkish Kurds and refugees from the Syrian border town of Kobani that the odds are shifting in favor of the defenders and that the siege mounted by the IS militants will fail. There have been several boosts for the Kurdish Defense Forces of Kobani. U.S. airstrikes over the past week have taken their toll on fighters from the so-called IS, and an airdrop of desperately needed arms and ammunition has boosted morale.
And moving to local financial news, the three main indices of the Kuwait Stock Exchange ended today's trading session in the red, with the price index dropping by 30 points to reach 7,354 points. The KSX 15 index also lost 7 points to settle at 1,175 points, while the weighted index lost about 2 points and settled at 482 points. The share of the Arkan Al Kuwait Real Estate Company was the top gainer of the day, while that of the Zima Holding Company suffered the biggest loss. For a chance to see our reports again, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. And to recap tonight's news, here are the headlines once again. His Highness the Emir receives GCC officials participating in the 23rd meeting of the GCC Ministers of Education. His Highness the Crown Prince chairs the first meeting of the National Security Council. The Iraqi Parliament Speaker arrives in Kuwait upon invitation by National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Al-Ghanem. And Turkey clears the way for Iraqi Kurdish troops to battle Islamic State militants in Kobani as fighting intensifies. Thank you for joining us.